Well, actually, what has happened is, as you are well aware, there has been a long-standing dispute over who the actual trustees are of the Jericho City of Praise. This matter was granted of the Prince George's County Circuit Court a summary judgment in favor of a few members of the church who claim to be the trustees of the church. The long-serving assistant pastor and now pastor of the church was fired by that group and subsequently ousted from the ministry. There were several thousand people that left that facility following Pastor Joel. There was probably less than 100 people that remained. And the Court of Appeals took this matter up, and just today they rendered a decision indicating that there was a material difference of fact such that the Circuit Court of Prince George's County should not have entered a summary judgment, and they have remanded that matter back to Prince George's County Circuit Court for a fact, a trier of fact to determine whether or not Pastor Joel Peoples was on. This means that the long-standing members of the Jericho City of Praise can return home.
And will Pastor Joel be able to be the pastor of this church without being interrupted by this board?
Well, let me say this. God's will never be interrupted. God's will go forward. Now, when Pastor Joel was terminated from the church and ousted, as were several other long-standing members, they were actually excommunicated, given letters telling them that they should never return to the property, otherwise there will be legal repercussions if they do so. At that time, approximately 99% of the membership left with Pastor Joel.
All right, thank you very much.
So what does this mean for the members here at Jericho City of Praise and the members of the City of Praise in exile?
What this means is that the lawsuit that was filed against Pastor Joel and where the summary judgment was issued in the Prince George's County Circuit Court, it was appealed to the second highest court in the state of Maryland. That is the Court of Special Appeals. The Court of Special Appeals considered all the evidence that was before him, and they indicated that an incorrect decision had been rendered by the lower court. Accordingly, they reversed that incorrect opinion and they sent it back to the circuit court to have a factual determination made as to whether Pastor Joel Peoples was in fact on the board of trustees. As you well know, Pastor Joel Peoples had ministered as the 5 o'clock pastor since 1990. In 1997, when his older brother, the assistant pastor of the church, passed away, he immediately became the assistant pastor and the vice president of the board of trustees. That occurred in 1997. Since that time, he has signed not only as a member of the board of trustees, not only as the vice president of the board of trustees, but he has signed on over $88 million worth of indebtedness. There have been several documents that have been signed by the members of the board at that time attesting and declaring that he was a member of the board of trustees. It was only at the time of September 2010 when any question arose as to whether or not he was on the board. At that time, his mother, Apostle Betty Peoples, had been ill for quite some time, and she had not been in the church for approximately 1 year. Pastor Joel, at that point, being the vice president of the board of trustees, indicated that there should be a board meeting. And at that board meeting, he did schedule, at that board meeting, he was told that there was a new board that was in place. He never knew anything about that board. Apparently, this board was surreptitiously put in place some 18 months earlier. Those of you throughout the district, Maryland, and Virginia area, and I dare say across the country, knew Apostle Betty Peoples very, very, very well. There would be no way that a board would be put in place 18 months and it be kept a secret until she was on her deathbed. And so what the Court of Special Appeals did was to take all the information that was before them, and at that point they rendered a decision that said that the Circuit Court for Prince George's County entered a decision that was incorrect, and they remanded it back down to that court.
Do you have anything to say to the 6 members of the...
Well, understand, everybody has a right to salvation. everybody has a right to accept Jesus as their Lord. We believe, and I follow our pastor, that everyone should receive love. Everyone should accept Jesus as their Lord. What we simply want to do at this point is to continue to give God praise, to give God glory, and to move forward in the land that He has promised to the members of the City of Praise.
Okay, thank you.